Hey everybody, hope you're doing great. Excited to get into today's show, which is going to be the 7 foods that fight allergies naturally. Excited to get into the show, excited to share it with many other people out there because no matter what season it is, you might be someone that deals with seasonal or year-round allergies. I'm someone that used to deal with them for my entire life until basically somewhere around 30 years old. Was not a good time. I always had essentially year-round allergies to grass, molds, and pollens. But when April came in New England, in Boston, I was an absolute mess for about 3 weeks. That means could barely work or couldn't work at all because when I would go outside, my eyes would turn bright red, even indoors as well. That's because we don't live in airtight, right, base houses. And they would be basically all dry, like almost glass-like, scratched, all swollen. It was miserable. And my eyes are always my Achilles heel anyways. So I'm always, it's the barometer for I'm like, okay, like how inflamed am I or not inflamed am I? How am I doing overall? Am I sensitive to this particular food? Like whatever it might be. But, you know, for a lot of people, allergies are just debilitating. And even at a low level, they can cause fatigue and inflammation and low mood and brain fog. So, and at its worst, it causes joint pain and all sorts of other autoimmune issues throughout the body because of the inflammation. So what I want to share with you today, I always think it's good to find out your allergies, whether it be food sensitivity or environmental. But what we want to do is go after the foods that we can add to our diet if we're not already doing that, that help to improve overall what's called diamine oxidase, which is an enzyme that breaks down histamines, or they can blunt the overall histamine-based response. So I want to go over this today. Again, I'm not going to go over the root cause of allergies. I'll link that up here today. If you go to stephencabral.com/2448, sorry, stephencabral.com/2449 is today's show. stephencabral.com/2449 is today's show. And I will link up previous shows on allergies as well, because the root cause really for most people does stem from gut-based issues, intestinal permeability, and typically what's called a Th2 immune imbalance. You might have read about that before in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. It does matter, right? Allergies are a rain barrel effect. You overflow your histamine load. Your body can't keep up with it. There's too much mast cell production, and you end up with the reactions of the allergen, right? So that's what it is. So let's actually tackle some of these foods. These are ones that I love to add in. We're going to give you 7 here today, my favorites and why. The first one is an apple a day, right? As they say, an apple a day. Well, why an apple a day? Well, specifically a red apple. Believe it or not, you want a red apple because it's going to be the highest in a nutrient called quercetin. I'm going to link up a podcast on quercetin as well. It was one of my Friday reviews. So again, please do tune in and just head on over to the free show notes page, which has the 3 big takeaways. We'll list these foods, and what we'll do is we'll list the previous podcasts that go more in depth. So quercetin is one of the best, if not the best, natural antihistamine, okay? So there's quercetin, there's stinging nettles, there's other things that help with mucus production as well, getting it flowing like NAC, but vitamin C. These things are crucial, right, as natural antihistamines. Very, very powerful. Butterbird's another one. So what we want to do is look for foods that naturally contain those specific nutrients. So red apple, and then I'll give you one towards the end that's very, very high in quercetin as well, is one of those. So your job, besides getting a really healthy food into your body, like an apple, is to say, how can I eat foods that are also natural antihistamines, right? It makes sense. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to look for, can't really look for foods high in stinging nettles because that's a particular herb, but you could use stinging nettle tea if you wanted to. I'll get to some nutritional supplements if you want to use that, but I want to go with the foods first. So you can always add the foods and then you can add the supplements if needed still because they're just stronger, right? That's what they do. Supplements supplement a healthy diet. So red apples are going to be first on my list. They're easy to get. They're easy to consume. Please do try to buy organic. Then you don't have the pesticides. You're not going to have as many of those waxes out of the outside. And when you buy a conventional apple, you can't wash the pesticide off. It seeps right into the skin of that apple. And you can't peel it because then you lose the quercetin, right? So you actually need to eat the skin. So red apples are right up there as essentially my number one to try to get those in once a day. I think an apple a day is totally acceptable for most people, especially, or I should say, even if you're on a low carb diet, an apple, might be acceptable. If not, I'll get to a different type of fruit in just a moment. All right, the second one is an interesting one. It's bell peppers. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of bell peppers, and it's only because some people have an issue with nightshade-based vegetables, or technically, I guess, a pepper is a fruit, right? Because it has the seeds in the inside. But, and I think the most inflammatory for most people in terms of like not being ripe, not doing well in the body are the green bell peppers, right? So the ones that I typically recommend that I find most people can tolerate are the yellow or orange. So those are actual, call them what you want, fruits or vegetables, bell peppers, that are actually very high in vitamin C. And vitamin C can be really helpful, again, as a natural antihistamine. Now, if you're just looking for vitamin C, you say, well, maybe why not just have I just gave it away. Why not just have citrus fruits? Well, citrus fruits can be great because they're very high in vitamin C. The problem is they're also naturally high in histamines, right? So if they're naturally high in histamines, then it might add to your histamine load, and that's a problem. So that's why I'm not necessarily recommending those in my top 7. So bell peppers could be. Again, I don't eat bell peppers because nightshades don't work great for my body. They're just a group of foods that they just don't mesh with my body. Everybody has, a group of foods that doesn't work well for them, or maybe a fruit or two. And bell peppers are just a part of that. So it's like no big deal that I can't eat them, but that doesn't mean I can't recommend them for other people, because other people do fantastic with eating yellow and orange bell peppers that are a ripened version of bell peppers, and they're super low in calories. So if you're on a lower carbohydrate diet, then those are easy to get in, right? So that's one that you might do. All right. The next one is fatty fish that are high in omega-3s. So little caveat, needs to be wild caught. If it's farmed, it's going to be higher in omega-6s. Those are inflammatory. Those are going to make allergies worse, believe it or not, right? Much worse. It's going to increase prostaglandins, series 2. It's going to increase allergies. It's going to increase mast cell production. It's going to increase interleukin-6 and other inflammatory markers, some of which I talked about on Tuesday's show. All right, so high in omega-3s, omega-3s can help with allergies. They can help to balance and modulate the immune system, right? Because that's really what we're talking about, an over-exaggeration to natural things in the environment. Well, the only issue with the fish is that it has to be fresh. If it's not, it's going to contain higher levels of histamine. So a lot of people, and again, super high in omega-3s, sardines, right? Anchovies, mackerel, but a lot of times they're canned. And because of that, they're aged. And because of that, they can be higher in histamines. So you might want to go with a really fresh wild salmon or wild trout or a fish like that. That's low in mercury, that's high in omega-3s. All right, the next one, coming back to fruit, berries. Berries are always my top pick for fruit. They are typically the least hybridized. They're lower glycemic. They're super high in antioxidants. And with berries, especially strawberries, believe it or not, but this includes all dark berries, high in vitamin C, but also high in quercetin. So you can kind of get a double punch right there, right? It's one of the reasons why I love adding my wild blueberries to my smoothie. And sometimes I do a banana strawberry smoothie as well. Super easy. Now, bananas can, again, exacerbate histamines in some people, but you can start with a quarter of a frozen banana or half a frozen banana, or none at all if you don't want. You can just do strawberries and whatever you enjoy, some nut milk and your favorite protein powder or something like that, right? So think about that. Just getting in half a cup to a cup of berries per day, I think would be absolutely fantastic for most people, especially those suffering from allergies. And another reason is that you're going to hydrate your body if you make it as a smoothie. So if you put in 16 ounces of water, you're putting in a cup or two of frozen berries, you're adding a little bit of your daily nutritional support or your favorite all-in-one or protein powder, then you're also getting super hydrated, right? Because a cup of fruit, basically 90% water, and then you're adding in 16 ounces there. So you're getting like how many cups of water is that? 3 cups of water. So you're also hydrating your body and you're flushing your body as well. Really good for your allergies to stay hydrated, all right? So any type of berries or strawberries, 1 cup a day. almonds and cashews, or nuts that are high in magnesium. So again, you can have any nuts that you want that are going to be higher in magnesium, but also omega-3s. So another nice one could be even walnuts. They don't work for everybody, but for some people they do. So you can even do mixed raw nuts if you want. And those are fantastic. I would always get them raw if possible. Now, again, you can't eat some things raw. Like I don't think you can do raw cashews and raw peanuts. Peanuts, obviously a little bit different category, but the ones that you can get raw, you want to get raw that are more healthy because they're going to have, when they're not cooked, there's less free radical damage, there's less oxidation, better for your body. So we added one more now to the equation. So now you know that quercetin, great for allergies. Vitamin C, great for allergies. We talked about some other things like stinging nettles and bromelain and NAC, great for allergies. Vitamin C, big one. And then omega-3s and magnesium. Right? Magnesium can be great for allergies too. You don't want to overdo it because you need the proper balance of calcium to magnesium actually to modulate what's called the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. But let's keep that for a topic for another day so we don't get too deep into the weeds. But that can be absolutely fantastic. So really nice. Different nuts are going to affect different people in different ways. If you're someone that suffers from allergies, make sure not to get those nuts roasted or smoked. Again, because that can increase the histamines, especially the smoking of any type of food, which can increase your allergies. I know it does for me. So just keep that in mind. Anything aged, smoked, or fermented can increase histamines in the body and typically does. Okay. So that is that. Now the next one is onions. I put that there because this is hit or miss for most people. And the reason is that if you have candida overgrowth or you have SIBO, this can be a fermentable food with that bacteria or yeast in your gut. So typically you need to rebalance the gut. Again, I'm not going to get too deep in that, but I'll link up the show on kind of the root cause for allergies, again, which is an imbalanced digestive system with leaky gut, with, again, Th2 immune imbalance. But so onions can work great though. I mean, they really can. Like once you've worked on your gut, you might want to add some in, and they're one of the highest, if not the highest, in quercetin. So if you're looking for like, hey, what's a really high quercetin food? Onions. Low calorie, low carb, antioxidants, high in quercetin might be nice to add to a lot of different dishes during the day. All right, and the last one that I wanted to share with you is one that I do at least 3 times a week, and that is adding parsley and or watercress to a dinner meal at night. Why would I add parsley? Why would I add watercress? Well, parsley and watercress, high in quercetin, two of the best anti-inflammatory herbs out there that you can eat. Essentially 0 calories, high in antioxidants, high in quercetin, and really great for your overall health. So that's an easy one that you can add in. How much? Just a tablespoon or so. Like literally just a little handful of it, chop it up, dice it up, toss it onto any meal. It can be really nice. So here's the thing. On a daily basis, you could pretty much eat most of these things, right? Like you could have an apple in the morning or maybe mid-afternoon. Strawberries could be part of your smoothie, let's say first thing in the morning. Bell peppers, okay? That could be with literally any dish, with lunch or dinner. Your maybe wild salmon or wild fish could be dinner a couple nights a week. You could throw in your almonds or cashews even in your smoothie if you wanted to in the morning. That's done. Add onions and add some parsley or add some watercress to a dinner at night. So these are really easy things that you can do that you can just make as a part of your menu in your meal and not have to change your life dramatically doing these things. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm actually going to do 2 follow-up shows on this, that foods that create the most allergies in your body. So, and it's not just the aged, smoked, and fermented ones. So let me just make sure I put that in my notes. All right, I've got there are 5 foods that make allergies worse. So that's going to be a coming show. And then I also want to share with you another show I've talked about in the past, but I want to dedicate a show to it. Called the Raw Honey Challenge, that again, anybody can do, literally very little cost to it. And it can tremendously help people with allergies, especially seasonal allergies, and overall great and healthy for your health. So I'm going to do 2 additional follow-up shows. They'll come out over the next 2 to 4 weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. So you've got your 7 foods. I'm going to link them up today at stephencabral.com/2449. I can't link up the allergy protocol that we use, which is a product called Hist Pro Daily Omega-3. in the alkalizing vitamin C, we can't do that. But if you were to just look at one, I would look at the Hives Pro that contains your quercetin, your vitamin C, your stinging nettles, your bromelain, your NAC, and so much more. And then the daily omega-3 support, the higher EPA to DHA, because EPA can convert to DHA if your body needs it, are absolutely what I've been using for years, and I'm a huge proponent of them. Alkalizing vitamin C, only if you need more, because there is vitamin C in the Hives Pro, so you can do that. Those are just at stephencabral.com/shop, which just sends you over to the Equilife-based store. Again, you don't have to use the nutritional supplements, but people always ask, like, what do you do? Well, this is what I do, and I've been, again, working with people in my practice for now over 2 decades. We've worked with thousands and thousands of people with histamine issues, with headaches and migraines and allergies. And I just wanted to share with you exactly what we do. So we use diet always first, nutrition first. And then what we do, because people don't want to suffer with all the symptoms, and I totally get it. I didn't either. Then we add in the good, healthy GMP certified nutritional functional medicine formulated nutritional supplements. So hopefully this is helpful. Again, the foods, the takeaways will be at stephencabral.com/2449. And I'll also link up the previous shows on the root cause and other issues regarding allergies. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, thanks so much. Do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care.